All right, let's jump right in. If you're a driver, you're out there seeing it every single day. The economy feels tough, the load boards are tight, and then a government jobs report drops that seems to paint this rosy picture for trucking that just doesn't match reality. It's confusing, it's frustrating, and today we're going to figure out what these numbers really mean for you. So here is the central puzzle, the big question we're tackling. The government just came out and basically said, hey, you know all those jobs we counted? Turns out we were off by almost 1 million, a huge drop for the US economy. But in that very same report, they claim transportation and warehousing jobs are actually growing? How in the world is that possible when the roads feel so different? We're getting to the bottom of it right now. Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll look at that confusing signal from the jobs report itself. Then we'll break down the official numbers, put them side by side. After that, we are diving deep behind the headline to see what the experts are saying. We'll connect all that data to the view from the ground, your reality. Then, most importantly, we'll talk strategy, how to navigate this slowdown. And finally, we'll look at what's next for trucking. All right, let's start by cracking this code. When the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the BLS, puts out a report, it makes waves. But this last one, this was more like a tsunami, and for all of us in the trucking world, it sent a very, very confusing signal that we need to figure out. So what happened here? Well, every year, the BLS kind of fine-tunes its employment model, recalibrates the instruments. But this year's recalibration wasn't just a small tweak, it was a bombshell. They essentially admitted, whoops, we overestimated how strong the job market was for the past year. And a headline like that, it makes everyone stop and pay attention. And this is where it gets, well, just plain weird. It's like we're looking at a tale of two completely different economies. When you put the official numbers for the whole country next to the numbers for our industry, they seem to be telling two opposite stories. Just let that number sink in for a second. Over 900,000 jobs. That's almost 1 million jobs that the government previously thought were there, and they just, poof, weren't. It's a huge adjustment that signals the wider economy was slowing down a lot more than we were being told. And then there's this. While the rest of the economy gets this massive haircut, the BLS model says our sector, transportation and warehousing, actually added 6,600 jobs. Now, it's not a giant number, but it's going in the completely opposite direction. It just doesn't add up, right? How can the whole ship be taking on water while our little cabin is supposedly staying bone dry? I mean, just look at this disconnect right here. It's night and day, a negative 0.6% change for the whole economy versus a positive 0.1% for us. Now, at first glance, you might think, hey, great, trucking is bulletproof. But if you're actually out there driving, you know in your gut that's not the whole story. The numbers say one thing, but the freight market is screaming something else. And get this isn't some one-time glitch in the matrix. It's a pattern. Last year, we saw the exact same thing play out. The total number of jobs was revised way down, while transportation jobs were revised up. When something happens once, it's weird. When it happens twice in a row, it's a trend, and we need to ask some better questions. So, what is really going on? To get to the truth, we have to push past that flashy headline number. We've got to dig behind the data and listen to what the people who live and breathe this stuff are saying. And this, right here, is the critical point. That slightly positive job number for our industry is basically a distraction. It's a smokescreen, and it's hiding a much bigger and, frankly, more important story. We're going to look at some analysis from Aaron Terrazas, an independent economist who used to be at Convoy. This guy knows freight inside out, and his take is something every single driver needs to hear. Listen to this quote carefully, because this is the key. The sectors of the economy that drive transportation demand saw sharply negative employment revision. That's it right there. That is the missing piece of the puzzle. It doesn't matter if we have 1 million drivers ready to go. If the factories, the construction sites, the retail businesses that create the freight, if they're struggling and laying people off, there's simply less stuff for us to move. Their health is our health. And this brings us to a term I'm sure you're all feeling deep in your bones right now, a freight slump. And let's be crystal clear about what this is. It's not a driver shortage. It's not a truck shortage. It's a demand shortage. There is simply less freight out there that needs to be hauled because the broader economy, our customers, are hitting the brakes. The engine of the economy is sputtering, and we're the wheels. Okay, so enough of the economic charts and expert quotes. Let's bring this all down to earth. Let's put it where it really matters, in the cab of your truck. We've looked at the data, we've heard from the experts. Now let's talk about what this freight slump actually looks and feels like for you.
I'm willing to bet this list rings a bell. This is the reality that the headline number completely misses. It's seeing rates on the load board that barely cover your fuel. It's spending hours searching for a decent backhaul. It's knowing that for every good load you bid on, 10 other trucks are bidding right alongside you, driving that price down. And for owner-operators and small fleets, man, this pressure is just immense. It's a fight for survival.
Now, I really want to hear from you on this. This isn't just data points for us. This is your livelihood. Are you feeling this freight slump? What are the rates looking like in your lanes? What's the biggest challenge you're facing right now? Seriously, drop a comment below and share what you're seeing. Let's get a real conversation going, because your experience on the ground is the story that truly matters.
Okay, so the reality is clear. The market is tough and demand is down. It's easy to feel powerless, but this is where we pivot. We shift from focusing on the problem to focusing on strategy. In a market that you can't control, the absolute key to survival is becoming obsessed with the things that you can control.
When your margins are this thin, you absolutely, positively cannot afford to be sidelined. Every hour your truck isn't moving is an hour you're not earning. Unexpected downtime, whether it's a breakdown or a compliance issue, it goes from being a hassle to being a direct, critical threat to your bottom line. You have to guard your uptime like a hawk. Here's a powerful mindset shift for you. In a market like this, staying on top of your DOT and FMCSA compliance isn't just some chore you have to do. It becomes your strategic weapon. It's your competitive edge. Being 100% compliant means you are 100% ready. When that one good load finally pops up, you can take it, no questions asked, while another truck is sidelined with a paperwork problem. That is how you win. So your strategy for resilience comes down to 3 simple, powerful things. Number 1, maximize your uptime. Get ahead of any risk that could park your truck. Number 2, stay ready. Have your records perfect so you never have to say no to a good load. And number 3, partner with an expert. Let someone else handle the compliance maze so you can focus on what you do best, driving. And that expert partnership, that's exactly where we come in. Here at LabWorks USA, our entire mission is to manage your DOT and FMCSA drug and alcohol compliance from A to Z. The random testing pool, the clearinghouse, the record keeping, we handle all of it. Our goal is to give you total peace of mind, knowing your compliance is locked down tight so you can focus completely on keeping those wheels turning and making money. All right, let's bring it all home and look at the road ahead. We've dissected the confusing numbers, we've faced the tough reality of the freight slump, and we've laid out a clear strategy for building resilience. So what does this all mean for the future? Here are the most important things to take away from all this. First, headline numbers rarely tell the whole story, so always dig deeper. Second, the true health of our industry isn't measured by trucking jobs, it's measured by freight demand. Third, this freight slump is very real and it's what drivers are battling right now. And most importantly, your best defense in a tough market is to control what you can, your uptime, your readiness, and your compliance. So I want to leave you with this final thought. In an economy that's full of uncertainty, in a market that goes up and down, what is the one thing that is 100% in your power to control? It's your readiness. It's your professionalism. It's making sure that when opportunity finally knocks, you are prepared to answer that door. That's how you build a business that can weather any storm. Hey, if you found this valuable, please do us a huge favor and hit that like button, and make sure you subscribe to the LabWorks USA YouTube channel. It really helps us bring this kind of analysis to more drivers just like you. And feel free to share this with anyone you think needs to hear it. Thanks so much for watching, and stay safe out there.